Just sent Kevin a request now.
We did
Kevin,
it.
what's
Yeah.
going on? We did it.
Listen, man. IG wasn't gonna defeat us, man.
Yeah, I was like, come on, you gotta let R&B live.
Come on, man. Let them live. What's up?
What's
What's
going
up?
on, Kev?
I can't complain, man.
Cool. We have some people in here right now. I just want to let everyone know, like, if you haven't heard Kevin's music, go check out Audacity Volume 1. This is our guy. We met him like a couple of years back, and just to
Yeah.
see his growth and progression throughout the years, it's a beautiful thing. Puts out great music, so check it out. But Kevin, crazy times right now.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's an
Yeah.
understatement for sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just making sure, want to make sure everybody's cool, make sure everybody's safe during this time. You know what I mean? Checking up on, your family and all that. Just staying close. You know what I mean? Staying
hmm
close knit while keeping social distancing. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So let's get started on this interview here. Of course, you dropped Audacity Volume 1 a couple months back,
Yeah.
first independent project. So I gotta ask, what has it been like to be an independent artist now that the album is out?
Well, it's an EP, but
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
we're breaking it up into two pieces and then putting it together as a whole album. But it feels great as an independent artist putting out a project on my own. You reduce a lot of the cooks in the kitchen, and you really get straight to the art of it. You know what I mean? Like really, taking a lot of the ideas that I had as far as like how I wanted to push the genre, how I wanted to push myself, musically, and kind of break the box that I was in. I think that people had thought that they kind of had me pegged as an artist, and what I wanted to kind of explore within Audacity is the many facets of not only myself as an artist, but where R&B the genre can go, and it still be called R&B. You know what I mean? So
Right. So, going independent, I know you had some things in mind of what it was going to be like. It was going to probably be more money out of your own pockets,
yeah, yeah,
less resources for you, more you would have to rely on yourself and your team more.
yeah.
But what are some things that you've learned throughout this process that maybe you didn't know before about the independent route?
I think the art of delegation is important. Like with anything that you do, like if you got more than one person besides yourself that is working towards a goal or a vision that you have, you want to make sure that you are precise about the things that you want for them to do, your expectation. You set that early on, and then you continue to, feed them. You continue to nourish them with positivity, with encouragement. You hold them accountable as they hold you accountable. And I think that's one of the biggest things is because I was so used to, um, you know, either having to do everything by myself, or when I handed over a product, then it was over to the big machine and then they did the rest of the legwork. And when you're doing it independent, you see it every step of the way. And so for me, it was just like delegating my time, delegating people that believed in me, that were a part of my team, different things that I hadn't experienced, on a major label, and just as an artist. Now I'm a budding businessman, and so you learn to adapt, and that's one of the biggest things that I've learned and that I'm still learning. You know what I mean? So it don't stop.
Right. Like you mentioned, part one is out, part
Yeah,
two is set to come out, date to be announced still. But
yeah, yeah.
as a label owner and a businessman as well as an artist, how do you know when it's time to transition from part one to part two? Is there a science behind that?
Honestly, I mean, just taking into consideration everything that's going on now. One of the biggest things that I really love to do when I do work a project is to make sure that I go into certain markets, do television, do radio, make sure I shake hands, and really like, physically hand to hand work my record and make people believers one person at a time. And I think that that is a very like old fashioned method, but I think that it
Right.
works for me because that's how I kind of started out, was that like, they put me into kind of a more old fashioned method, and it proved
Right.
to work out a lot more. So for me, I can't touch the people. And it just seems like a lot of new music is just, it's not receiving the kind of attention or the kind of bandwidth that it may deserve. You know what I mean? As far as like right now. So it seems like people are looking for catalog stuff, things that they are
Right.
used to, things that make them feel comfortable and assured. And I understand that. And so, I wanted to roll out the interim series. And so,
Right.
it's pretty much like a plethora of covers. And then we're going to have a couple of originals in there as well. But I just felt like I had recordings that were timely, and I was like, man, like, why don't I just put this out? I'm independent now, why not? And if I can make someone feel good, just one person, I'm doing my job, and I'm using my gift, and I'm being of service to people when they need artists to speak the most, beyond
Right.
numbers and beyond stats, but just being there for humanity and doing my part.
Right. The one thing that I've kind of learned throughout this whole quarantine process is, like you said, you go back and you listen to what's familiar, what
Yeah,
feels good. And I find myself going back to the Cruise EP.
yeah.
And that EP, man, crazy. And then that prototype cover, I love that cover. Just talk about the creation of that cover.
I did that cover as a part of, I think it was, I created a series that I never put out called Inspired By. And
Okay.
I did I did Prototype. I did like maybe like three other like Love Below songs from Andre
Yeah.
3000. I did four covers of like Lauryn Hill. So like
Mhm.
Nothing Even Matters with Curvy is coming
Oh,
out
wow.
tomorrow, so that's included in that. Um,
Nice.
and I think I did like four John Mayer covers in that. So I did like a body of work,
Right.
just because I can. I got my studio with me all the time. So
Yeah.
that was really a cool thing. But yeah, Prototype, like I did that back in 2016. And so by the time that I was putting together Drive, I was like, dang, like I really want to put together an EP that makes it feel like you're cruising from dusk to dawn. You know what I mean?
Right.
And or dawn to dusk, whatever.
Right.
But I think that it was really just a vibe. I really wanted to catch a feel, and I really wanted to kind of catch the attention off of the heels of Audacity. I don't know why I say Audacity. The Awakening.
Right.
I really wanted to like, continue that momentum and put out something that I knew that would add on to, the energy that was on The Awakening about, giving it kind of a new feel. Cruise was on there, Prototype, and Prototype really took off. I was surprised, honestly. I thought it
Yeah.
felt good. I just didn't know. I didn't know how everybody else was gonna take it, but I'm glad that people liked it for sure.
Yeah, love that record. And, aside from us being some of your biggest fans, because some of your biggest supporters, one that we all learned recently was Magoo from Timbaland and Magoo. He's like the biggest
Yeah.
Kevin Ross fan out there. So shout outs to Magoo. But you came into the industry fairly young, but you've always written songs that, capture both the urban AC crowd as well as the younger crowd. What's the art to that?
Just being an old soul, to be honest.
Right.
I think it's a tribute to my parents, like them playing like old school music in the house, and just catching that vibe early on, and then it just
Hmm.
stayed with me. Like that music really made me feel a certain kind of way, and so as I grew up, I always wanted to like implement that into this generation and in my own way. And so I think that sometimes with that being said, that it kind of puts me like left of center or right of center. But it's cool. Like it's a part of me. I don't
Right.
deny it. I'm not ashamed of it. I ain't afraid of it.
Right.
Anybody who knows me, like that's just a part of my DNA. Like my mashups, they all pay tribute to great artists of the '90s and the 2000s and even of the '70s and stuff like that. So I will always continue to do that because I love music. I love R&B. I love soul, and yeah, it's just a part of
Nice. So last time around when The Awakening came out, we took credit for you deciding to go with Don't Go as your next
it.
single. We're
Facts.
still going with that. I hope everyone loved that song, but
Yes, yes.
I'm on record now. Your next single should be Anya.
Who we got? Anybody asking you about it, tell them that it all belongs to me, baby. August City to Houston, I'm so hot in. Hesitate to pull up on the 3-3. Any night you want it, I can pull up on you quickly. We decided rubber, baby, got the lucky jet lag. Okay, now it seem like you ready. I'ma come and get it soon as I go and turn the lights. Oh yeah, hey, lips. Oh yeah, tongue. Oh yeah, dripping. Oh yeah, cream. Oh yeah, make it scream. Oh yeah, legs. Oh yeah, say. Oh yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
Nah, I love that record. Yeah, it's a bop, and that's one of the things that I was very intentional about the whole project of Audacity was like we need to have bops on there,
Yep.
and that no matter what record it is, it needs to have kind of a heart to it. You know what I mean? Even like when we
Yeah.
playing the keys on it, it started that way. It started very like bare rooted. I always wanted to be musical. Whatever I do, whether it's a bop, whether it's
Mhm.
switching sides, no matter what it was, that it had a level of musicality. So I'm glad that you like Anya.
Yep.
I know that my team is like, we should do a video for Anya. So,
Yep.
so team, if you listening, yeah, we hear you. You guys, I got so they said it. They stamped "Don't Go," and y'all were right. "Don't Go" was the record that was after "Long Song Away." But truth be told, here's what happened: is that they didn't want to spend no more money with Don't Go.
Right.
So they organically let Don't Go hit top 15 at Urban AC Radio. And they was just like, well, you know, this is all we want to spend on. My bad, sorry.
Right.
This
It's all good.
this is all that we want to spend for you know, for the run of it. And so with that being said, um, they took it and did whatever they wanted with it. But I think the people responded and they enjoyed it. It shows within the streams that it's just as popular as Long Song Away. It was a great follow up, and I think that with the right kind of promotion and awareness, and if I had the funds back then, I would have promoted it myself. Or
Right.
if I knew the game a little bit more, to say how much money did I actually need in order to take it number one, so I can have two number ones under my belt, I would have did that and and pay for it myself, because now I know the game now as far as like how to work radio and how to invest inside of it. So
Right. Awesome. And Kevin, we're about to have Carl Thomas on the next Instagram Live series we
hey,
have, and you guys have something in common. You guys
yeah,
all work with
yeah,
Troy Taylor,
Troy
and
Taylor,
Troy used to tell me stories about how he would be really harsh on Carl in the studio trying to get those vocals right. Do you
yeah.
have a Troy Taylor story like that?
Man, damn, I got so many Troy Taylor stories, man. I don't really think I could I don't really think I can narrow down one. Okay, I
Yeah.
will say this. So Troy was really, really influential with Trey's "What's Best for You," and
Yeah.
so being an amazing writer by the name of E Miles, writer and producer, by the name of E Miles, we were in the studio and we were writing to the "What's Best for You" track, and like the original versions, it just didn't have that same feel. Like,
Right.
and we were going in a whole different direction, and he was just like, no, 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 stop, stop. And so, if anyone knows Troy, you know that he's very, very animated. He has a lot of like just unique antics that make him Troy Taylor. And so, he had kind of like the beginning of the melody. I only want to spend time with you. Right, so we was like, all right, cool, let's put some lyrics to it. And then it was a flow from there. So by the time we hit
Mm.
the verse, we was off to the races. We wrote the record in like 30 minutes or something like that. And so when he had, like, when he played it back, he started jumping up and down in the studio. He's like, oh my God, we got one. Yes. Yeah. I'm sending this to Trey right now. Right, so he's doing all that. And I was like, God damn, I ain't never seen him excited about a record like this. I had known that cat for like 5 years prior. I had never seen him bounce like all around the studio. Like he was just so excited to nail this record. But it was a great feeling to be a part of it. To know that, because people keep they forget that, like, not only is Troy Taylor a producer, he's a writer first, right? So
Mm.
he's the OG of the 100%ers and him studying Babyface and all
Yeah.
of these great people. And so he was that guy. And I remember having conversations with him where he felt like he felt like he didn't want to write. He
Mm.
always just wanted to kind of stick with production. I'm like, man, like, why don't you write? Why don't you do the both? He was like, man, once I get back into it, man, it's gonna be over for all y'all. But I think that excitement was attached to the fact that he was a part of the writing process, and
Right.
he was very influential in the writing process of what's best for you. And
Mm,
to watch it come together and allow for it to manifest, I think it was a beautiful moment for him. And it was a beautiful moment for Ian Miles to experience and to laugh at his ass as he was doing all that. So
right.
it was a plus on everybody's end.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then finally, Kevin, a lot of people in this chat are the song covers because we love your cover videos,
Thank
your acapella videos.
you. Yeah.
Just tell us what's coming up next for you.
Nothing Even Matters featuring Kirby. Kirby is an amazing artist. If you
Yep.
don't know her music, make sure you check her out. Kirby. It's just Kirby. It's just Kirby. That's how dope she is. She go by Kirby. Um, I went to school with her. We went to Berkeley together. She's an amazing writer. Wrote some amazing records for Kanye, to Beyonce, to God knows everybody. And now
Mm,
she has a new record called Sis that's out. And so, ironically, we actually dropped the same day, January 31st. So we had Nothing Even Matters already in the can. So it's like, let's make it make sense. So got on the phone. I was like, is it cool? If we drop this? She was like, bet, let's do it. Let's make it happen. So Nothing Even Matters tomorrow. It comes out literally at midnight. Nothing Even Matters featuring Kirby. It's a vibe. It feels great. I think you guys are going to love it. It's a great rendition. And then just more from the interim series. And then Audacity Volume 2 is underway as it pertains to once we're out of COVID. Like, it's ready. It's ready to go. It's
right.
mastered. And I just want it out to the people. I really want to shoot a video for the lead single from off of it. And but it's ready to go. I'm excited, man. I'm excited for y'all to hear just the freshness, especially the
Yeah.
single. I think it's gonna be, yeah, it's gonna be received well.
Nice. Well, Kevin, like I told everyone earlier, check out Kevin's music, Audacity Volume 1, The
Yes,
Awakening, all that music and everything else to come. Kev, you know you've got our support forever. Love everything you're putting out. So just keep it up.
thank you, man. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Take care.